Okay, I have a treat for you today. Life has been way too serious on my end recently. I don't know what has been going on. I don't know if it's the time of year. I don't know if it's just me or if you're experiencing this as well. But life has just been like crazy serious. Like work is serious, school is serious. Like everything is just, I don't know. I need to laugh. I need to laugh. And that's what I'm bringing to the table today. That is what I'm bringing to the table today, where you and I can go back and forth and kind of consider what we would do in these some possible and some impossible situations. There's no easy answers. There's no logic. It's just pure chaos. And that's what we need on a Wednesday to get through the rest of the week. All right? All right. We're going to start off easy. So the first question is, would you rather have fingers for toes or toes for fingers? I think I'm going to say fingers for toes. Because hear me out. First of all, you can hide your toes way better than you can hide your fingers. Like your fingers are almost always exposed unless you're wearing gloves in the wintertime or for some other reason. Like your hands are out. You're grabbing things. You're shaking people's hands. Like I don't want toes to be on my hands. You know what I mean? If fingers are on my feet, like fingers instead of toes, like toes are already low-key kind of like a finger, but just like shorter, I guess, and less skinny. I don't know. So it's kind of like a glorified toe. Like, and I'm almost imagining like that you would be able to have more grip in the toe category. Like, I don't know exactly what you're gripping onto. But, like, I'm kind of envisioning in my mind right now, like, ape. Wait, let me look up what ape's feet look like. Okay, yeah. No, literally, I was spot on with this. So, if you go look up, literally all I typed into Google was ape foot. It looks like a toe on a foot. No, like fingers on a foot. Sorry, I'm getting this so mixed up. It almost looks like human fingers on a foot. Yeah, and they can like grab something. So similar to how our hands, like we can really grab something with our hand, you would just be able to do that with your foot. That's kind of like badass. You know what I mean? So that's fine. Like, why would you want toes for hands? You know what I mean? Okay, that was easy. All right, next question. Would you rather have to speak in rhymes forever or only be able to whisper? Okay, that's easy. Only be able to whisper. 100% for me, because some people have that. Like, that's a problem for some people. You know, whether you're sick or you have like a damaged vocal box, or I feel like some people are born with just they can only whisper. Okay, let me look that up too. What is it called when you can only whisper? Aphonia? Loss of voice. If you have aphonia or loss of voice, it means you can't make yourself heard because your voice sounds hoarse or you can't speak above a whisper. Sometimes you can't speak at all. Other times you may not want to speak because you think your voice sounds strange or different. Okay, yeah, so that's a thing. Anyways, so it wouldn't be that weird, you know what I mean? It's just be like, oh, I have aphonia. Like, oh, I have aphonia. You know what I mean? Like, you just whisper it out. However, speaking in rhymes forever, I would get sick of myself. I don't even know what that would look like. Like, how would you be able to speak in rhymes every sentence? You know what I mean? Like, let's say that I was asking someone for a glass of milk. Like, what am I gonna say? I'm feeling thirsty. Smooth as silk. Could you pour me a glass of milk? Like, what? Every sentence? I could not do that. That would only be funny 30 minutes to an hour. And that's even being generous. Like an hour, come on, 30 minutes tops in a conversation with someone. If I'm just whipping out rhymes every single sentence, there's going to get to a point where it's like, all right, just be real with me. Just say a normal sentence. So yeah. And I just feel like even like I enjoy being able to express myself in the way that I want to express myself. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. But like, let's say if I'm in a work meeting, I guess that's not really an example of expressing myself, but I want to be able to control what I'm saying, how I'm presenting it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be looking at a coworker giving a rhyme. I don't know. With whispering, you can get away with that. You just state that you have a medical issue, and also you may not be asked to speak as much. Like, you totally don't have to do like a presentation at work. Well, I guess maybe you still could with like a microphone on high volume, but for the most part, I feel like people would be super respectful of that and just be like, oh, well, she only whispers. So yeah. All right. So definitely whispering for me. Okay, now we're going to start turning it up a notch. We're going to get a little more crazy. But before I say that, I just kind of have to say something that's on my mind. Why, when you're 20, okay, maybe this is a universal experience, but I'm in my early 20s. And I swear, every time I open up Facebook, somebody that I know is pregnant. What is going on? I'm not mad that you guys are all pregnant. Like, it's fine. I'm happy for you. I think babies are super cute. I'm excited to get pregnant one day. You know what I mean? But I literally, every time I click on Facebook, it's like a game in my head. It's like, who's going to be pregnant now? Like, I'm just going to guess who's pregnant now. Another girl that I used to know, she's pregnant. I don't even think that I can count on two hands all of the girls that I, have known from either high school or sports that I did or whatever, who are now pregnant. Like, good for you guys, but I guess this is what it's like to be because I've heard this before. It's like, oh, when you're in your 20s, everyone's either, pregnant or traveling or in college and it's just so true. Like, I can attest to that. It's just so weird. Like, you turn around and all these people that you knew have scattered and they're all doing different things. Like, one's got a business, one's traveling the world, one's already on her third child, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's my side rant for today. Okay, so let's get back into it. We're pulling out some crazier would you rathers now. All right, would you rather accidentally call your boss mom/dad or accidentally send a screenshot of your conversation about them to them? Okay, this is hard. So accidentally sending a screenshot about your conversation about your boss to your boss. I think that, it really depends what the conversation was. Because if you were texting someone, and this is why texting is so dicey. I feel like sometimes my phone will just glitch, and I have a newer phone. And this actually just recently happened to me the other day. I was at my brother's high school because I work for a school district, and so his high school just happens to be one of the schools in the school district. And I was showing up to the high school, and I was texting, and I had gloves on, winter gloves, but they have the little tech tip, so you're supposed to be able to text with your fingertips, even though you have winter gloves on. And I typed in on my messages my brother's name, and I started typing out a message in my brother's, him and I's messages. I could literally see his contact photo and everything. I'm typing out the message. No, I think at this point I switched to voice message, where, not a voice, memo. Not that. I wasn't recording my voice to send to him. I was talking into my phone for it to make it a text because I think it was windy and whatever. I don't know. and I was cold, and I just wanted to send him this quick text. And I said, actually, let me bring it up. Okay, I said, yo, I'm at insert name of the high school, LOL. That's all I said, okay? I clicked send, and I watched as my iPhone, I don't even know which one this is. Is it the 15? Let's look. Yeah, my iPhone 15 Pro, I watch switch to a coworker whose name is not even close to my brother's name. Like the first letter of the first name is nowhere near the first letter of the first name of my brother's name. It switches to my coworker's messages and sends that same exact text. Yo, I'm at insert name of the high school, LOL. Now, this isn't even that bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not that big of a deal. But it's just so sketchy. Like, why? Like, what if I had... And it's not like I'm out here just texting, like, crazy unhinged things. You know what I mean? But it's just, we're all humans. Like, or sometimes we're ranting to, like, a friend or a loved one about someone else and whatnot. And just, I do not trust the phone. But I feel like in this case, with the rules of would you rather, you kind of just have to take that risk and assume the worst. So assume that it is a bad text message. So it's either that or accidentally calling your boss mom or dad. I'm gonna have to go with accidentally calling your boss mom or dad. Okay? No, hear me out, okay? I feel like this can be justified. Like, it's not as bad, in my opinion, as accidentally saying, like, I love you. Like, have you ever been on the phone with someone before, like a friend, and you're literally on the phone with them, and they're not someone that you would say I love you to? Like, you're just acquaintances, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, love you, mom. It's just not the vibe. And you're on the phone with them, and you're hanging up, and you say, I love you, like accidentally, or you almost do, but you catch yourself. And then it's like, why did I almost say that? Like, that's crazy. And it has nothing to do with actually loving the person. It's just that second nature response to ending a phone call. But anyways, I feel like that is worse than accidentally calling your boss mom or dad. I just feel like it could be justified. And I feel like I'm very lucky to have a really great boss who's funny and jokes around and like it's all good, you know what I mean? So I feel like if that happened, if I was accidentally like literally called my boss mom or dad, I could just be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like I was just talking to my mom, you know what I mean? I just feel like that could be way more justified, whereas accidentally sending a screenshot of your conversation about them to them is just so much more complex and so much more embarrassing, I feel. So yeah, that's what I would do. Okay, the next one is, would you rather trip and fall in every doorway or have your phone go off on full volume in every silent room? Wow, that's hard. Because if it said, would you rather trip in every doorway minus the falling part, it would be like hands down. Yeah, trip. Because you can trip and like catch yourself. I feel like I trip all the time. You know what I mean? Like I'm walking somewhere and I like trip on a stone or something. I feel like that's not that big of a deal. That's not as embarrassing as your phone going off in a silent room. But this is tripping and falling in every doorway. This is like face first, whatever's in your hands, coffee, going on the floor. Every time you walk through a doorway, that would get old. Think about every doorway. Your bedroom doorway, your bathroom doorway, would a car, I guess that's not a doorway, you know, getting into your car. All right, forget the car doorway. That's ridiculous. But then you're walking into work, doorway. Starbucks, doorway. Target, doorway. Tripping and falling and probably spilling any drink that you're holding in your hand. That's not good. While having your phone go off on full volume in every silent room, yeah, that also is not favorable. But you could expect it. Like, you could have your finger on the silence button every time you're approaching a room that's silent, and your phone's going to go off because this is just what happens in this, crazy scenario that you live in. And so you're locked and loaded. Like, you're ready. Your finger's on the silencing button. You're walking into that room. It starts going off loud. You're silencing it immediately. So now it didn't go on and on and on. You know what I mean? It was just like, and then you silenced it. So that's fine. And you could honestly make a joke out of it and just be like, haha, time for a new phone. You know what I mean? So you can get away with that. That's fine. Rather than like literally tripping and falling every time you walk through a doorway. Okay, next one. Would you rather have permanent Cheeto dust on your fingers or feel like there's a popcorn kernel stuck in your teeth forever? Oh, man. Honestly, this isn't that hard for me. It's the popcorn kernel. Because that is just a riveting feeling, but you can hide it. You know what I mean? Cheeto dust on your fingers permanently? I work in a professional setting. I can't be shaking hands with Cheeto dust. I'm also a realtor. I can't be showing up to like meetings with clients and going to open houses and showings and again, shaking hands with Cheeto dust on my fingers. Yeah, that's how to never make a sale 101. You know what I mean? Also, gross. Even just like washing my face, like, because in this scenario it says permanent Cheeto dust on your fingers. So I'm assuming that this is waterproof. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you try to wash it off. There's still going to be Cheeto dust on your fingers. That's just nasty. So the popcorn kernel, I would just have to learn to live with. Even though, again, riveting. That is a riveting feeling. But yeah, it's, beauty is pain. Like, you have to make sacrifices in this case scenario. Oh my god, this next one, I can't. Would you rather only be able to drink room temperature hot dog water or eat a sandwich where the bread is two wet sponges? Guys, room temperature hot dog water? And for some reason, I know exactly what that tastes like. Like, how do I know what that tastes like? I can taste it in my mouth right now. Like, I literally have the sensation of being able to taste that in my mouth. It's like if you've boiled... Okay, have you ever boiled a hot dog on the stove? Because I have. And after you boil the hot dog and you take the hot dog out of, the bowl or whatever, sorry, I'm not a chef, that you just boiled it in, pan, that's a better pan. After you take the hot dog out of the pan that you just boiled it in, there's water left over, right? And the water tastes like the hot dog. And so in this scenario, you could only drink room temperature. So now it's not even cold. It's not even refreshing. It's room temperature hot dog water. That's disgusting. I could not. I'm all for a hot dog. Hot dog water is just not it for me. But then eating a sandwich where the bread is too wet, two wet sponges. You know what I don't know in this scenario is, are they using the word sponges as an analogy? Like, are they saying that the two pieces of bread are wet like sponges? Or is it literally a sponge? Because the way it's worded is, eat a sandwich where the bread is two wet sponges. So in my mind, again, I'm thinking about this way too deeply, but I feel like it's saying that the bread is a wet sponge, meaning that it's a legit sponge that's acting as bread and it's wet. But I guess let's look at this from a more realistic perspective and not from a perspective that it's real sponges. Let's look at it from the perspective that it's just two pieces of wet bread, similar to how a sponge gets wet. I am going to have to go with that option because at least you can get through that. And bread, okay, wait. I have a perfect argument for this. Bread already gets kind of soggy depending on like the condiments that you've put on what you're eating. So, for example, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The jelly is kind of like, it's not wet, but it has more sogginess to it's gonna make the bread a little soggy. And some of the oils from the peanut butter, that combined, let that sit for 24 hours and you have a semi-soggy peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You know what I mean? Now, think of like a hamburger. Now you're putting, let's say you put relish on it, ketchup, mustard. Now the two pieces of bread, or at least the top piece of bread, is getting soggy. Let's take a grinder. Let's say you're putting mayonnaise on it and maybe some oil and maybe then you're toasting it. Like, let that honey sit 24 hours. You know what I mean? So, although in this case scenario, it's literally two wet pieces of bread. So I'm thinking just like dripping, sogging. That's just more realistic. It's more close to what you would already have if you had a heavily condimented, I'm not sure if that's a word. That's definitely probably not a word, but we're going to use it anyways. A heavily condimented sandwich, you're already going to have a sort of soggy bread. So what's the harm in a super soggy, you know what I mean? Compared to room temperature hot dog water and only be able to drink that ever? Come on, a hot summer day and you just want a crispy, cold lemonade. You have to drink the room temperatured hot dog water forever. You have a stomach ache? You want a ginger ale? Room temperature hot dog water. All right? Room temperature hot dog. Okay, my answer here is to eat the bread that is two wet sponges. Ooh, this one's so easy for me. Would you rather be able to see everyone else's browser history or have them see yours? 100% I want to see everyone else's browser history. Versus seeing mine? Like, absolutely. Like, not... Again, well, I was gonna say, not that I'm searching up anything crazy, but I just feel like we're all human. You know what I mean? I feel like I will search the most random things. Random. I will just think to myself one day, how long do squirrels live? You know, and I'm searching that. Actually, this would actually be super funny to look at some of my recent searches, because it's not like I go through my own search history, and I'm not so young anymore that I need to like delete it. LOL. Let's see. Oh, it categorizes it now on the iPhone in Safari. If you go to, because that's typically where I do my searching, if you go to history, it's categorized by day. So it doesn't just give me this long list of all of my search history. It's like this afternoon, this morning, this evening, Wednesday, March 5th, Tuesday, March 4th. Okay, let's just pick a random day. Saturday, March 1st. Okay, I looked up my church because I think I was trying to get the like Lent Mass schedule to figure out when I was going to Mass. America's Acres Soa 100% natural soap. That was just a soap that I had already bought, and then I was backpedaling to research if it was a good soap or not. Did Pope... This is so random. I searched, did Pope Francis die? That's actually not funny at all. But I think he's still alive, but he's still alive as of this recording, but I think he's actually not doing too hot at all. Shirts and tops for women. This isn't giving me what I actually searched up, though. It's giving me links I clicked on. Skims basics. I'm trying to find basics. You know what I mean? Okay. All I want is a basic tank top. I want black, I want white, I want gray. Maybe even throw me a brown. That's all I want. I don't want a tank top with a bow on it. I don't want a tank top with a smiley face or some weird quote that's like, be happy. I don't want a tank top with the random name of a town in California on it and then like a palm tree to the left-hand side. I want basic tank tops. I want to be able to throw a cardigan over it when I'm going to work, or I want to be able to wear it with a cute pair of jeans if it is springtime and I'm going out on the weekend. You know what I mean? So I was looking up Skims to see if they had any. I didn't find anything because I actually didn't make a move on that. All right, that's enough of my search history. That was actually more boring than I expected, but the show must go on. So yeah, I totally want to see everyone else's browser history compared to them seeing mine. I just feel like that's personal, what I'm searching up, but it would also be so interesting to see everyone else's browser history. Like just anyone, just like a random person or someone. Yeah, that would, I don't know. I would actually have a field day with that. That would be funny to me. Okay, next question. Would you rather always have wet socks or always feel like there is a tiny rock in your shoe? I'm going to say feeling like there's a tiny rock in my shoe because I just cannot with the wet sock situation. Literally, this past summer, I went to Universal Studios in Orlando and it rained, or because it rains all the time in Florida, and it was like mid-afternoon and it rained, downpoured. I was in sneakers with socks and they got soaked. Absolutely. Or did it? No. Actually, okay, sorry. I just completely lied. My brain made up a lie because I knew that my shoes got soaked, but I forgot how they got soaked. And it just made the most sense that they would have gotten soaked in a rainstorm because it rains in Florida all the time. However, now I'm remembering. Now I'm bringing you the truth, okay? We went on a ride. It was like a Popeyes ride. I don't remember the exact... I'm going to look it up. Sorry, I'm going to look it up. Popeyes Universal Florida ride. Okay, yeah. Popeye and Bluto's bilge rat barges. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. But it's a water ride and it's like you're all in a raft and it's a circular raft so you're all looking at each other. And I got the most soaked on this ride that I have ever gotten on any ride in my life. And my friend in Florida warned me about it. Shout out to Amy. She literally warned me. And she was like, I love this ride, but you will get soaked. You will get so soaked. And not that I didn't believe her, but when it came time for the ride, I was kind of like, haha, this will be fun. I'll be able to cool myself off because it's like 100 degrees out right now. You know what I mean? No, we got soaked. And yeah, just look up the ride. Okay? Because there's pictures of just pouring water on you. And so my feet got soaked from that. My sneakers and my shoes got absolutely soaked from that. And so anyways, back to the point of what I was saying, I think that was one of the last rides that we were taking before dinner. And so we were walking out of the park and, you know, it's a squish, 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 squish because your feet are soaking wet. And then your toes start to become like raisins and get like all wrinkly. And it's so uncomfortable. Like it's this, like, I just can't handle it. It's just so nasty. Like, it's like a sensation that I just can't deal with. So we had just gotten out of the park and there was like a bench by a tree, and I sat down on the bench and I took my shoes off and I took my socks off. I laid my socks in the sun because the bench was like right in the sun. The sun was still beating down, like, and I just sat there with my feet out and let them dry. And it worked. But that was the risk that I had to take, and I had to make everyone wait for me to dry out my feet because I could not then be going into a restaurant freezing cold, because in Florida, the ACs are like pumping because obviously it's like so hot out, but it's two extremes. You're outside, you're soaking wet and hot. You're inside, you're freezing your butt off. So anyways, yeah, I can't deal with that feeling. So I feel like I could deal with a tiny rock in my shoe, although that's annoying. You can kind of like kick it around. I don't know if that makes sense, but every time you walk, it's like a mystery where the rock is going to be. It moves around. You know, you have completely had a rock in your shoe before. Don't even lie to me right now. You have had a rock in your shoe before and you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're walking around. There's a tiny little pebble rock in your shoe. Every time you step your that foot forward in front of you, the pebble moves around. 1 second it's at the top of your shoe, right by your big toe, and then the next step, your foot gets some air time off the bottom, like the sole of your shoe, and then all of a sudden the rock is like in the middle of your foot. The next step, it's down by your heel, and then you kind of shake it out a little bit, like shake your foot. All of a sudden, it's in between two toes. I know you know what I'm talking about, but anyways, it's kind of like a game you can play. If you're stuck in this situation where it always feels like there's a rock in your shoe, I would rather be kicking around the rock than having wet socks. So, oh man, I'm just reading some of the upcoming ones, and this is funny. I'm having a lot of fun with this. All right. Would you rather have to read your last 10 text messages out loud to your entire family, or post your search history on your Instagram story? I think post my search history to my Instagram story, because honestly, it's just one screenshot, right? So like literally what I just read off to you guys a couple of minutes ago of my search history from last Saturday is not even that bad, you know? Like, you kind of have control. You can pick, a time where your search history was super basic, and the people who follow you might just be confused, like, why is Bestie posting her search history? But who cares? You know what I mean? They don't pay your bills. Who cares? You know? However, having to read your last 10 text messages out loud to your entire family, I just feel like is so Russian roulette. I have no idea what my last 10 text messages are, and they could be different at any given moment. In the middle of the workday, my last 10 text messages could be so chill and so boring. You know what I mean? It could literally just be me going back and forth with my coworker, like, hey, have you fixed the Wi-Fi? Oh yeah, I have fixed the Wi-Fi. Hi, are you going to be at the meeting today? Yes, I will be at the meeting today. Okay, can you send me data for this report? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm on it. So, you know what I mean? So boring, right? But then randomly, there'll be like one text slipped in there to my boyfriend that's like so unhinged. Like, okay, here's a great example. He asked me, this was today. He said, WID. So what are you doing? I said, on my way home, like a baddie. Like, that's so random. Like, that just came out of me. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't on my way home like a baddie. I was driving home with two hands on the wheel. You know what I mean? Oh, but yeah, that's not even a like crazy example, but I just feel like it's very unpredictable. It's very Russian roulette with your text messages. You never know what's going to happen. And so to have to read 10 of those out loud to your family, like, that could just go downhill pretty fast. So I can just post my search history to my Instagram story. That's fine. Okay. Would you rather accidentally like your ex's new partner's selfie from 2015 or reply, "You too," when a server says, "Enjoy your meal"? Okay, definitely the second one. I do that anyways. There have been so many scenarios where I respond to people with the wrong thing. I have definitely said, "You too," when a waitress comes over to me and is like, "Enjoy your meal." I'll be like, "Yeah, you too." And then I'll literally look at the person that I'm with and I'll be like, awkward. Shouldn't have said that. But honestly, I feel like servers are just so like busy and in and out and running around that they probably get that all day. Like that's way less embarrassing than your new ex's partner getting a notification that you liked one of their photos and then they look and it's one of their like you're clearly stalking. And we all do it. Come on, we all stalk. But to be outed on that stalk, I mean, what? Like I'd own it, whatever. But if I have the choice here, I'll just say "you too" to the server. Okay, next one. Would you rather have permanently greasy hair or permanently sweaty armpits no matter what you do? I feel like I already have both. Okay, don't even think about judging me right now because I'm over here talking to myself into a microphone, talking to you, but let's be real, I'm talking to myself right now as I'm recording this, and I'm being vulnerable with you. So, no judging, all right? I don't know what's going on. I understand you're not supposed to wash your hair every day. I get it, okay? I've seen the TikToks. I've heard people tell me it's bad for your hair. It strips your hair of the natural oils and subsequently just makes it more greasy. I get it, okay? I have tried very hard to go many days without washing my hair and do the whole dry shampoo thing, but it usually ends really bad for me. My hair usually gets to a point where I can't take it anymore. And my confidence is at such a low because I just feel like my hair looks greasy. Whether anyone actually notices it or not, I don't know. But yeah. And typically by the end of the day, even if I just washed my hair, you know what I mean? Like I just washed my hair the night before, it's the next day at the end of the day. I feel like it's already getting greasy again. And I'm not talking crazy greasy. I'm not talking, like you really, looking at my hair right now, you literally can't even notice it. You can't notice it, but I can notice it. Like I can just feel it. Like I just want it washed. I want it washed. So if you have any tips on that, please let me know because that's a constant problem in my life. And then secondly, with the sweating, it's not even, like, that's less of a problem, but I do feel like, well, because I'm always at work, right? So the temperature is also so hit or miss. Sometimes the heat is cranked up, and then other times the AC is cranked up. There's no rhyme or reason in my office, and I can't really control it. So, yeah, I just feel like typically, like, I'm just always sweating, especially in the wintertime, because I'll wear, like, a layer and I'll be cold in the morning, so I'll put on a long sleeve and then a sweater on top of that, and then I'll get to work, and now the heat is cranked up in my office, and now I'm sweating. So yeah, I kind of resonate with both those problems. But if I had to just choose one and rid myself of the other one permanently, I would say sweaty armpits, only because I would love to not have this, like, greasy hair dilemma in my life. So yeah, give me the sweaty armpits. I'll just carry around deodorant all day. And yeah. All right, next one. Would you rather accidentally like your ex's Instagram post from 10 years ago or accidentally send a risky text to your boss? Listen, you guys, in a world that spends most of their time on screens, I am all for a healthy escape. Whether that's just stepping away from the screens or getting lost in a good book for a while, we need that break. And if you're looking for that kind of escape, you have got to check out sarahcrownbooks.com. Some people are born storytellers, and let me tell you, Sarah Crown is one of them. From recording her first stories as a child to studying under top Hollywood story experts like John Truby, she has built a life around words, weaving thrilling narratives with depth and heart. With degrees in psychology, education, and law, Sarah brings a unique perspective to her writing, one that grips readers and just doesn't let go. Trust me, her stories are the perfect way to unplug and dive into something unforgettable. Her latest novel, All These Threads of Time, is the perfect blend of heart-pounding suspense and mind-bending time travel. Set in the 80s, when Sylvie Mitchell discovers that she can jump through time, she's determined to save her family from a serial killer. But the past fights back in ways that she would have never expected. If you love mysteries with a twist and time travel that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, this book is for you. And if you're looking for more than just stories, Sarah's Substack called A Busy Lady is your backstage pass to her writing journey. She takes you behind the scenes with inspiration, writing tips, and more. Whether you're a writer, a reader, or just someone looking to live a more creative life, A Busy Lady will give you the tools and motivation you need. Don't miss out on Sarah's thrilling books and creative wisdom. Check out sarahcrownbooks.com for more information on her books and Substack. That's sarahcrownbooks.com. In stories, we find ourselves. Yeah, that's easy. I'm liking the ex's Instagram post from 10 years ago. Honestly, I just don't care. I feel like I'm kind of ruthless that way. Like, if I'm stalking and I accidentally like a photo, what are you really gonna do? You're the one with a public social media profile, you know what I mean? I guess it depends on the relationship that you two had. I don't know. I feel like I haven't had any crazy breakups. Like, sure, I've had breakups that were really hard and hurt and were challenging to move on from, but I feel like I haven't had anything wild or extended or like extensively long. Like, I haven't been with someone for like 5 years and then broken up. I feel like that would be a little more awkward post-breakup. I don't know. But I just feel like generally I don't care because it's sort of like, what are you going to do? Okay, block me. And then we can just avoid this issue. You know what I mean? Like, please block me. But accidentally sending a risky text to your boss, that is a nightmare. How do you come back from that? How do you go into work the next day? Or, oh my god, what if you're at work? What if you were at work and you meant to send a risky text to, like, your significant other? Which you probably you shouldn't be doing that at work. I don't do that. I'm telling you to not do that. But what if that, and your boss is like the next office over from you, you know what I mean? But it accidentally goes to him. What do you do? Well, I feel like you could try to do that thing where you immediately turn on airplane mode, but I feel like that just doesn't always work because for me, it doesn't even register that I sent a text to the wrong person until after the fact, like way after. Usually, if I've sent the text to the wrong person, I don't even realize until that person responds and is like, yo, what? That wasn't meant for me. Like, who are you? It isn't until then that I realize that I didn't send it to the right person. So I can't even imagine a risky text going to like a boss or even a coworker, but in this scenario, it's a boss. And then, yeah, being at work or like going into work the next day and being like, ha. And what do you, like, obviously you would immediately reply back and be like, I'm so sorry, that was not meant for you, but that's just so odd. I mean, we're all human, right? Like, it would be obvious that it wasn't for that person. I don't know, that's just something you never want to get yourself into. That That would be crazy. Yeah, I would totally like the ex's Instagram post from 10 years ago. Who cares? Like, what are you going to do? Take away my career? I feel like sending a risky text is more like detrimental to your job. All right, we're going to wrap this up with a couple of more. Next one is, would you rather have to text your ex, I miss you, once a month, or accidentally reply to every work email with love you? This is so difficult because if you start replying to every work email with love you, that's going to be a problem after like 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking in my mind, like, how many emails I send out a day. I should count it one of these days, but I am shooting out emails every second. It is just like back and forth. A question here, a question there, meeting plan here, meeting plan there, a data request here, a data request there. You know what I mean? It's probably over 100 emails a day, literally just all day. If every single one of those emails to all of these various people were signed with love you. But my problem here is that it says accidentally replied to with love you. That it's accidental. That's my problem. Because I feel like if it was purposeful, you could kind of turn that into something. Like, some people have automatic signatures in their email and they'll have a quote at the bottom and be like, love your life, love your job. You know, that's so not a quote, but you get the point. I feel like, see, this is me trying to make the question into what I want it to be, and that's so not the point of would you rather, but just bear with me. If it wasn't accidental, then you could make it purposeful, and it could just be like an inspiring quote that, yeah, incorporates love you, but it's more in a work-friendly manner. It's like, love you for who you are. Wow, see, I'm a natural at this. You could figure that out. But if it's accidental, like, I can't even imagine. Like, usually with all my emails, I've just adopted signing my emails as best, Dana. That's just what I do. Some people do best regards. I've never really been into the best regards thing. Some people say sincerely. That feels a little too serious for me because I'm just emailing people all day, every day. And what are some other ones? Thank you. It depends. Sometimes I switch it up, but typically my signature move is best, Dana. So if it was like, love you, Dana, I don't know. Like, I feel like you would get talked to. Like, after a full work week of that happening, like, I feel like so many, because you're also emailing your boss, you know what I mean? I feel like you would literally be called into HR and they'd be like, hey, so we don't know if this is purposeful, but it is sort of making people feel uncomfortable and they don't really know how to reply. So would it be possible for you to stop telling everyone love you? Like, would it be possible to stop signing your emails as love you and maybe just say thank you instead? Like, because, like, this is your warning, and we're gonna have to take action next time. You know what I mean? I just feel like sooner or later you're gonna get talked to about that. That's gonna become an issue. Whereas replying, no, not even replying, texting your ex, I miss you, once a month. Like, come on. I don't want to text any of my exes. I have no desire. I'm very happy where I am right now, and I'm not trying to talk to any of you guys. But once a month, that's so frequent, and that's so awkward. Like, 1, you look absolutely desperate, and, like, you have not moved on. 2, you have to, like, stay in communication. Even if they don't reply to your monthly text, you are now forced to think about them every month. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. Oh, this one's hard. Honestly, All right, this is crazy, but I'm going to say sign the work email with love you because I just feel like I could potentially weave that into me just being a super supportive person. Like in this made up scenario, I feel like I could really just be like, yeah, well, it's really important to me that I encourage everyone and I make sure that everyone feels loved, like we need more of that in this life. So I really want to sign all my emails, love you, and I want you to feel uplifted and inspired by that. I feel like I could potentially get away with that. Like, not get away with it, but explain myself out of it, where people are like, oh my god, that's actually sweet. Like, I love you too. You know what I mean? This is all hypothetical scenarios, but yeah, I'm just not trying to text any ex I miss you once a month, or ever for that matter. So, yeah, that's that for me. Would you rather be forced to give a TED Talk about a topic you know nothing about, or have to freestyle rap for 5 minutes at a family gathering? Okay, this is easy for me, actually. I would do the TED Talk because I used to hate public speaking, and I know that this is a pretty universal experience, and I do. It still gives me an absolute stomach ache and makes me really uncomfortable. However, I've had more opportunities recently to get on a stage and speak, and every time that I'm doing it, it feels a little bit better and it feels more rewarding and exciting. Like the last time that I spoke publicly was the community college that I went to invited me back for their honor society induction ceremony as their guest speaker at the induction ceremony. And when I went to that community college, I was the president of that honor society. And I went. I didn't want to do it initially. When I got the email, I was at the busiest time of my life. This is such a story time, and I'll have to do another episode on it. But because of a medical emergency that I had during my last 2 years of college, my bachelor's degree, whatever, I got a little bit behind. So I still finished out my classes and everything, but just something the way that the foreign language class I had to take worked, like I was a little bit behind. And so I was going to have to go one extra semester instead of graduating in 2 years. And when I got to my, what would have been second to last semester, I calculated it all out and I realized that if I took 6 classes in the spring semester, typically full-time is like 5 in college at like a regular college. If I took 6, got permission to take 6 and took 6, and then in the summer A semester, so at the college that I got my bachelor's at, the summer was split into 3 semesters. So there was a summer A, a summer B, and a summer C. Summer A was the first 4 weeks of the summer, 4 or 5 weeks. Summer B was the second 4 or 5 weeks of the summer. Summer C was both of those together, so a longer period of time. Summer A and B were very short, but still all the same amount of work. So the same amount of work that you would be doing in a class over 12 weeks, you're now doing in 4 to 5 weeks. So I'm talking multiple tests a week, multiple projects a week, multiple essays a week for every single class. And I took four classes in summer A, I believe. Don't quote me on that. If I do an episode on that whole, it's because that's a whole thing. And there's wisdom that came out of that as well. I'll get the actual number, but I believe it was 4 classes. So anyways, literally from January to June of that, it was 2024, so last year, I was out straight. And at that time, I had just gotten a promotion, a substantial promotion to where I was an IT technician for one school to now managing all of the data for the entire district. That's multiple schools. So there was a lot of change. There was a lot that happened in the first 6 months of 2024 for me. But anyways, back to the point. I was asked to speak at this induction ceremony right in the middle of all of that happening. Literally right in the middle of it. And it's crazy that I even got the email because my personal email is a disaster. I really need to figure it out. I have other emails for more important things so that I actually see the emails that come through. But my personal email, I have to pretty much manually check every day and scroll through thousands of emails because I have, like, I'm looking at it right now. Loft, Pinterest, Sharper Image, Krista Born to Coach, Verbum, Disney Plus, Ann Taylor, Google Flights, Moroccan Oil. It's so problematic. I have my personal email is filled with spam emails. So sometimes if I'm not looking at my personal email, whatever, you know what I mean? Especially if I'm on vacation or something, a lot of time will go by and I'm not looking at it and emails will get lost. So don't email me at my personal email. But I just happened to see the email from this lady who was inviting me to do it. And when I first saw it, I was like, no, I cannot be doing that. I cannot be doing that right now. And it was totally justified, right? Like, I was doing so much, absolutely so much. I had so much going on. I did not have to speak at this induction ceremony. And there was something about it that kept telling me, you should do it. Like, it's a good opportunity. You should do it. So I did. I did it. Go me. I pushed through it, and I am glad that I did it. And I think the point that I was actually coming to with this is that, you know, who does like to get up on a stage and feel the eyes of 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 20,000 people? Talk about anxiety inducing. But that was the most recent event that I have spoken at, and I felt the best at it, and afterwards, I felt great, and almost to the point where I was like, I want to do this again. I would totally do this again because I love crafting a speech, practicing the way that I'm going to present it, and then presenting it. And literally, so after the speech that I did, I had numerous people come up to me and be like, hi, like, I wanted to say hi and I want you to know how moving that was. I had this older woman, she came up to me after the speech. I think she was there for like her granddaughter's, her granddaughter was being inducted into the honor society. And she came up to me and she said something along the lines of, I loved everything that you talked about. Every single speech normally that you hear at one of these things is like putting you right to sleep. But everything that you were saying was so relevant and kept me so engaged. And like, I can't even believe how engaging that was. And that just made me feel so good. And I had multiple other people, younger people, come up to me and be like, wow, like that was really good. Like, you did so good. One of my close friends was actually on the stage as well, helping with the whole event. And even after, she was like, that was awesome. So it feels good. And I love knowing that I helped people and made people feel seen. And I think that that's just another way to do that. So yeah, if you'd like to book me for your next event, I am available. Do not email my personal email or I might not see it. Okay. Just DM me on Instagram. Yeah, so back to the point after 20 minutes of explaining that story. Would you rather be forced to give a TED Talk about a topic you know nothing about, or have to freestyle rap for 5 minutes at a family gathering? I feel like I could totally BS a TED Talk about something that I know nothing about. Even if, like, I'm gonna think of the most random thing. Let's say Windows. Let's say they're like, yeah, you need to do a TED Talk on Windows. I know nothing about Windows other than I can look out of them at the pretty scenery. And if you click 2 buttons, you can usually slide the window up and escape if you want. If there's a fire, make sure you jump out the window. You know what I mean? But see, I'm already coming up with things. Like, you can so BS that. You just can. Like, I'd probably start off and be like, windows are a portal to life. Windows open a room, and they give us the opportunity to experience the outside while still being inside. And that's an absolutely beautiful thing. If it weren't for windows, think of how secluded and sad your room would feel. See what I'm saying? That was me just freestyling a TED Talk. So again, if you would like to book me for your next event. But freestyling a rap, I can't rap. God bless those who can do it and just ramble off and it all rhymes and it all sounds good and it makes sense. That is definitely a gift from God, because I can't even do that. That's just not, I couldn't even try. I feel like I've tried before and I literally can't. So, and especially at a family gathering, that's just awkward because I'm not good at it. Like, I would have no problem standing up in front of a family gathering and just freestyling a TED Talk like I just did. But freestyling, I don't even know where to start. I don't know how to rap. Yo, my bed is soft. I live in a loft. See, I'm so bad at it. I don't live in a loft. All right, that's it, you guys. I'm done. I hope that you laughed today, all right? It's Wednesday. You need to laugh. Like I said, life has just been, I don't know, serious and heavy, and I just feel like we all need to laugh. So I really hope that you laughed. I hope you laughed. I will see you guys next time. New episodes every other Wednesday. Every 2 weeks, twice a month. If you liked and enjoyed this episode and you'd like to stay up to date with the podcast, please give it a follow on Instagram at The Lot of It Podcast. All episodes are on all major podcast platforms like Spotify, Amazon, Apple, etc. They're also on YouTube. So please go over to YouTube, look up The Lot of It Podcast, give it a follow. And there are videos on YouTube, although they are not of me. They are of the cover art, because I am not sophisticated enough to have a camera set up. Maybe I will one day, but not yet, okay? Just audio for now. But yes, I have YouTube, and that's it. All right, I'm done. Shut me off. You have stuff to do. Go do your stuff. Go get your chores done. Have a great day. I love you. Like I'm signing a work email. I love you guys. Okay. Bye-bye.